A new, allegedly exclusive fight footage between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao has reportedly surfaced, showing a heated and violent backstage altercation between the two boxing legends. According to the claims, the situation escalated quickly, and both fighters may have required medical attention afterward. This unexpected clash has stunned the boxing world, especially given their long history since the fight of the century. In this video, we break down what allegedly happened and why this leaked footage is causing such a huge reaction. On Monday, February 23, 2026, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao stunned the boxing world by announcing a professional rematch 11 years after their first bout. Mayweather, 49, would come out of retirement to face Pacquiao, 47, at the Sphere in Las Vegas on September 19th, over a decade on from their fight of the century, which remains the highest-grossing bout in boxing history. The rematch was announced by Netflix, who would live-stream the event. The match would be held at the Sphere in Paradise, Nevada, and would be the first-ever professional boxing match at that venue. The bout was set to stream live globally on Netflix, to its 325+ million subscribers at no additional cost. This was supposed to be the sequel fans had waited for, but the details of how it came together were already messy behind the scenes. In the lead-up to Mayweather's upcoming exhibition match against Mike Tyson in the Congo in April 2026, which was later postponed, Mayweather announced on February 20th his return to professional boxing for at least one official match. Just days later, Netflix confirmed the opponent, Pacquiao. Pacquiao said at the announcement, "Floyd and I gave the world what remains the biggest fight in boxing history. The fans have waited long enough. They deserve this rematch, and it will be even bigger now that it will be streamed live globally on Netflix. I want Floyd to live with the one loss on his professional record, and always remember who gave it to him." Mayweather's response was blunt. "I already fought and beat Manny once. This time will be the same result." The announcement hit different because of what was at stake. The fight was clarified to be official and not an exhibition match, meaning Pacquiao could potentially break Mayweather's undefeated record, that 50-0 mark, the one Mayweather has guarded with his life. The question on everyone's mind was, why would he put that record on the line at almost 50 years old? Especially against Pacquiao, who gave the then WBC welterweight champion all he could handle in 2015, and to many beat him. The first fight between these two generated numbers that still stand as records in the sport. Their 2015 bout at the MGM Grand Garden Arena shattered financial and viewership records. It generated 4.6 million pay-per-view buys in the United States and more than $410 million in revenue. While some fans debated the entertainment value inside the ring, its commercial impact remains the benchmark of modern boxing. Total global revenue exceeded $600 million, and now, with both men pushing 50, they were somehow about to do it again. But the moment the ink dried on the announcement, the cracks started showing. To understand why this rematch matters and why the current conflict is so heated, you have to go back to May 20, 2015. That night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, the world stopped to watch two men settle what was supposed to be the definitive debate in boxing: Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Mayweather won by unanimous decision, with scorecards reading 118-110, 116-112, and 116-112. The victory preserved his perfect professional record and further cemented his legacy. Mayweather stands at 50-0 with 27 KOs, undefeated across 5 divisions. Pacquiao, with a record of 62-8-3 and 39 KOs, remains the only boxer in history to win world titles in 8 weight divisions. But for many who watched, the fight left them hollow. Despite the large amount of hype, critics felt that the bout itself was disappointing, primarily citing Mayweather's defense-oriented strategy and Pacquiao's difficulty in landing punches. This had led to some critics relabeling the fight Better Never Than Late, rather than Fight of the Century. Then came the bombshell that changed the entire narrative. It was revealed following the event that Pacquiao had sustained an undisclosed injury to his right shoulder while training, and that while it had healed in time for the fight, he re-injured it during the 4th round. The fallout was immense. Pacquiao said a right shoulder injury prevented him from fighting at his best. Nevada officials had denied Pacquiao's request to take an anti-inflammatory shot in his dressing room before the fight Saturday night. The chairman of the Nevada Athletic Commission said the ruling was Pacquiao's fault for not mentioning his injury sooner. Pacquiao revealed he had torn his right rotator cuff approximately 3 weeks before the fight during training. His camp said the injury had healed enough to proceed, but that Pacquiao re-injured the shoulder during the 4th round. The same round he landed his biggest punch. Bob Arum disclosed that his team had considered requesting a postponement, but ultimately chose not to disclose the injury, fearing it would jeopardize the fight. The punch stats told the story in cold, hard numbers. Mayweather connected on 148 of 435 punches at 34%. Pacquiao landed just 81 of 429 at 19%. His lowest output in any 12-round fight in the previous 7 years. Perhaps the most telling statistic, Mayweather's 81 power punches alone equaled Pacquiao's total landed punches across all categories. Pacquiao was fighting one-handed, and the numbers proved it. More than 30 class action lawsuits were filed by fans, alleging they had been defrauded, that paying $100 for a pay-per-view featuring an injured fighter constituted a breach of their expectations. The lawsuits were eventually consolidated and settled. For over a decade, Pacquiao carried the weight of that loss and the question mark that came with it. He believed he could beat Mayweather at his best, and now, 11 years later, he was getting a chance to prove it. But what happened next would turn the whole thing upside down. Everything appeared to be on track for September. Netflix had the date. The Sphere had the booking. Both promotional teams were involved. Then, on March 28, 2026, Floyd Mayweather went in front of cameras in Las Vegas and said something that detonated the entire arrangement. Mayweather said, "As of right now, we don't know exactly where the fight is going to be. We don't know the location of the fight. The Sphere is one of the places that they talked about. So we don't know if it's 100% going to be there. And this is not actually a fight. It's an exhibition. An exhibition. Not a professional fight. Not a sanctioned bout. Not a fight where his 50-0 record would be on the line." Mayweather was trying to rewrite the terms of the deal, in broad daylight, in front of cameras, with the whole boxing world watching. And the reaction from Pacquiao's camp was swift and merciless. Speaking in a clip shared by Source of Boxing, Pacquiao responded directly, "Is that what he's feeling?" But he signed a real contract. "Yes, the contract that we signed is a real fight. I wouldn't fight an exhibition." Pacquiao went further, speculating about Mayweather's motives. He has his own strategy. Maybe he thinks I'm going to take him lightly. But the real fireworks came from Pacquiao's CEO, Yas Mathur. As of right now, the fight is still on. There is no termination of any sort, and he is signed for a professional fight. Mathur told ESPN, "Floyd Mayweather is officially in breach of his contract." Mathur took a more pointed approach on Instagram, writing, "Men lie, women lie, executed binding agreements don't." And that phrase, executed binding agreements, would become the sword hanging over Floyd Mayweather's head, because the contractual details that Mathur began revealing painted a picture of a man who had already been paid, who had signed multiple deals, and who was now trying to back out of what he had committed to in writing, clearly wanting to protect the zero on the right side of his record at all costs. Mayweather stated that his 50-0 record would not be on the line. And this is where the fight between the two fighters shifted from the ring to the courtroom. The tension was no longer about who would throw the first punch in September. It was about whether September would even happen at all. And the deeper Mathur dug into the details, the worse things looked for Mayweather. When Yas Mathur sat down with ESPN's Andreas Hale, he didn't hold anything back. The revelations were devastating for Mayweather's position in this dispute. Layer after meticulous layer of financial and contractual commitments that the American had allegedly made and was now allegedly trying to undo. According to Mathur's account to ESPN, Mayweather signed 3 separate agreements on 3 different dates with 2 different parties, all connected to his return to professional boxing. The first was signed on October 24, 2025, the second on November 6th, the third on December 14th. All 3 were eventually merged together in January 2026. Mayweather received money upon signing each one. Beyond those deposits, Mather said Mayweather also took out an advance against his purse for the Pacquiao fight, deepening a financial commitment that now makes his public reversal significantly more complicated. He did get deposits, and then he also took a loan against the purse, Mather told the Review Journal. So, this is beyond just getting a deposit from the fight contract. So let's be clear about what's being alleged here. Mayweather signed 3 contracts. He took money for each. Then he took a loan on top of his purse, the money he's supposed to earn for actually fighting. And after all of that, he went on camera and called the whole thing an exhibition. Those statements contradicted the official Netflix announcement from February 23rd, which framed the bout as a professional rematch. With Mayweather's 50-0 record on the line, the Sphere's own social media accounts promoted the event. Both Mayweather Promotions and Manny Pacquiao Promotions were listed as co-promoters, alongside CSI Sports Fight Sports. Mather told ESPN that Mayweather was fully aware of a recent site visit to the Sphere. That included 35 to 40 representatives from Pacquiao's team, Mayweather's team, Netflix, and the event's producers. No one in these last 3 months has brought up anything related to the venue or related to the fight not being a professional fight, Mather said. His team has had all the contracts. He signed all the contracts. The breach didn't stop with the exhibition comments. Mayweather's planned June exhibition against retired Greek kickboxing champion Mike Zambidis in Athens is also a direct violation of the Pacquiao agreement, according to Mather. The contractual terms governing Mayweather's return to professional boxing appear to restrict his ability to take other fights without authorization from the parties involved. Mather was emphatic when speaking to ESPN. "We put this together to put on something that the fans would love and would be a massive sports event. We wanted to do something that makes history, and he wants to come around and try to change terms last minute because he thinks he can." Meanwhile, the Nevada Athletic Commission also recognizes the fight as an official bout, which has only increased tensions. An ultimatum was set. Mayweather must send an official confirmation in the coming days. Otherwise, the fight could be canceled permanently. Although privately, the American has claimed that everything is fine, the reality appears different. The September 19th rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao at the Sphere in Las Vegas is now headed toward a legal confrontation that could dwarf the fight itself. And then there's the matter of Mayweather's financial life outside of this fight, a tangled web that adds an entirely new dimension to why this situation is playing out the way it is. The question lingering over everything is a simple one. Why? Why would Floyd Mayweather sign up for a professional fight, take the money, and then try to turn it into an exhibition at the last minute? The answer appears to live at the intersection of pride and financial pressure. Mayweather filed a $340 million lawsuit against Showtime Networks and former Showtime sports president Steven Espinoza in February, alleging that his former advisor Al Heyman orchestrated years of financial fraud that diverted a staggering portion of his career earnings. He has also been sued over more than $300,000 in unpaid rent on a Manhattan luxury apartment and faces separate lawsuits from 2 Miami jewelers, claiming he owes millions for watches and jewelry. Reports painted a messy financial picture, alleging Mayweather took out millions in new mortgages in 2025, while 2 commercial properties were foreclosed, and his Las Vegas strip club building faces tax delinquency. Creditors reportedly chased Mayweather over unpaid jet fuel and a disputed $1.2 million Maybach vehicle. He sold his Gulfstream plane as well as major homes. He's settled more than $28 million in IRS-backed taxes, amid lawsuits alleging unpaid luxury debts. Joe Rogan, the UFC commentator and podcaster, didn't mince words when the rematch was first announced. Rogan said on his podcast, "Look at Floyd. Floyd spends money like it's a tap, like he's got a tap with an unlimited amount of money, and even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more than any boxer ever." There's all these lawsuits. One theory gaining traction among boxing commentators is that Mayweather tried to make some quick cash by fighting Pacquiao again. But when he looked at the situation, knowing he might lose his legacy of retiring undefeated, he pulled back and tried to make the contest an exhibition, one where he could still boast about his earnings, because that's the real crux of this whole saga. Mayweather doesn't just want to protect his body, he wants to protect his number. That 0 on the right side of 50-0 is the single most valuable asset in his brand. It is the thing that allows him to call himself the best ever. And the idea of a 47-year-old Manny Pacquiao, a man who fought a then 30-year-old world champion to a draw less than a year ago, putting a blemish on that record, is apparently terrifying enough for Mayweather to risk legal action, public ridicule, and the wrath of Netflix, the Sphere, and every boxing fan who was counting on this fight. Pacquiao returned to the ring in 2025 against Mario Barrios, in a match that ended in a draw but left good impressions. This competitive comeback has sparked speculation. Pacquiao's team believes this may be the reason. Mayweather is trying to change the terms of the fight. At 47 years old, Pacquiao boxed Mario Barrios, a then 30-year-old world champion, to a draw. He should have got the decision and should be a world champion now. And that is what makes this whole situation so combustible. Pacquiao isn't some faded version of himself coasting on nostalgia. He showed against Barrios that the speed, the timing, the ring IQ, it's all still there. And Mayweather, who hasn't had a professional fight since knocking out Conor McGregor in 2017, has spent the past 8 years fighting YouTubers and social media influencers in glorified sparring sessions. To fans and media, this whole situation looks like Mayweather is protecting his 50-0 record. Instead of fighting a legitimate bout, fans and media see it as backing out of a real competitive fight after building hype. It reinforces the perception that Mayweather prioritizes money and record protection over giving fans a real fight. It also makes the first fight between the 2 years ago sit even worse with fans now. For Pacquiao, this rematch holds special significance. It's a chance to close an unfinished chapter in his career, the shoulder injury in 2015. The one-handed fight, the feeling that the world never saw the real Mayweather-Pacquiao matchup at its peak, or even at its fairest. This September was supposed to be the night all of that got resolved. Under the lights of the Sphere, beamed to 325 million Netflix subscribers, with both men's records on the line. Whether that night still happens depends on one man's willingness to honor what he signed. As of now, credible reports suggest the bout is still in flux rather than officially scrapped. The situation remains highly fluid, with both sides yet to reach a clear agreement on the structure of the fight. The uncertainty has intensified due to sharply conflicting public statements from both sides. Mather did not rule out replacing Mayweather as Pacquiao's opponent if the situation collapses entirely, but he declined to speculate on alternatives. The promotional infrastructure, the Netflix deal, and the Sphere booking all exist independently of Mayweather's participation. Whether any other opponent could justify that platform is a separate question. One thing is certain: the footage of Mayweather calling this an exhibition, and Pacquiao immediately firing back that the contract says otherwise, that footage is everywhere now. It's gone viral for a reason, because it captures something that boxing fans have always sensed about this rivalry. Mayweather controls the business, and Pacquiao just wants to fight, and for the first time, the paperwork might actually be on Pacquiao's side. The world is watching, and Floyd Mayweather, who has spent an entire career never losing, may have finally put himself in a corner he can't slip out of.